Howdy, YouTube neighbors. Been a while since I did an old man rant, but I kind of want to do one today on the subject of hard counter bosses. And this is something that I've seen come up a lot now in a lot of recent indie roguelikes. I'm going to pick on Bingle Bingle today because first and foremost, it's still in early access and still has time to change, so hopefully that will be the case at some point. But it also, I've not really seen such a hard counter problem in any game like I've seen in this one. I cannot tell you the number of times I've had a great run only to come up against the final boss and be able to literally do nothing to it. And let's see this as an example. So this is the penultimate stage. I built up a deck that starts with an alpha repeat ball so that we know what number we're going to land on. Every number on the wheel is represented because that's the artifact we've built around. So now that we know our bet, what we're going to do is make as many straight up bets as we can on that number. And then we are going to seek to get enough points with our final ball. Discard until we get proper bets. Alright, there's another straight up. Alright, now we're going to discard until we have a high base point ball, and the ice ball suffices. This was a touch and go run, but it was very fun. I had a great time with this run up until this point. So it's basically an all-in style of deck, very common for this particular type of game. And at this point, all we're really wanting to do is to maximize our straight up bets. We're not even going to spend a whole lot of time in the shop here. We know our game plan. We just need to play it correctly and to get our luck to align. And then we see this boss. You have to have a minimum of 3 rolls to beat him. We've been working on our discard. We've been working on our one-shot bets. We only have 6 chips to make 200,000 3 times. We get to this stage, we've had a great run, and now there's literally nothing we can do against this boss. But who knows, maybe we can pull something out. So we enact our strategy. We know we're now betting on 5. Alright, so we have a flash straight up bet that we can do on 5. A golden straight up bet that we can do. And now we need to roll 3 times from here with our last 3 balls. And we see here that we make that pretty much only because of the flash bet, which we no longer have. So now we're just looking for the highest base ball we can, but we don't guarantee the 5 now. So at this point, there's nothing we can do but throw our hands up in the air and just lament the great run that we were having up until the final boss showed up. And this just isn't fun. There's nothing fun about this. And the big problem that you're going to have with your game development over time is if you have multiple hard counter bosses in the final boss run, then eventually there will be a meta zero optimal strategy that just everyone's going to pursue because you don't want to deal with this nonsense of seeing this screen after such a fun time. It's just a big letdown. And as such, the design space of your game, because you have multiple hard counter bosses, basically just diminishes to the point where only the decks that can beat all of those hard counter bosses will come into play. And to make matters worse, this is the lowest difficulty. This is the only difficulty the game has so far. and this is a wall that I'm already running up against. So that's my old man rant on hard counter bosses and why. So if you want to see a place where hard counter bosses are done well, look at Balatro. Balatro has bosses that kill flushes. They have bosses that kill high card decks, but there's enough design space in Balatro to know that if you see that boss early, you're not going to see it again. So if you're running a heart flush deck and your very first boss debuffs hearts, then you know the rest of your run is going to be okay to run heart flushes. Likewise, there's enough design space to pursue alternate strategies if you come up against that boss. Whereas in games like this game, or in games like the Earthbound roguelike, whose name escapes me right now, there's just not enough design space to pursue multiple strategies in the same deck to overcome that problem. So that's my old man rant. Let's get back to our regular gaming schedule.